watch this?
How?
Ew,
How do you watch this? Dude, I'm gonna pee my pants. Hi, you're listening to How Do You Watch This, a movie review podcast where each week we recommend a movie in the genre we love, but they don't. My name is Megan, and I love romance.
My name is Demi, and I love horror.
And I recommended for Demi this week Rye Lane because we chose the thread movies in our watch list. And this one's been on mine for a minute now after I saw a bunch of TikTok videos talking about underrated rom-com movies. I don't know if I would necessarily throw this in the rank of rom-com. It felt more like rom-dram.
There was some comedy.
Some comedy, not quite as light as my usual rom-com-y stuff that like I will go for. But I was excited about it. It's been something I've been wanting to watch. It's very artsy, very different.
Yeah, it's interesting that we watched this after It Follows because I feel like they're both very artsy in a way, in the way they're filmed. And I'm like, oh, that's really interesting that we did this.
I thought that too. Lots of like wide pan shots and just like certain aspects of doing it. That was really interesting. Travis did walk by. He didn't watch, God forbid he watches a romance. He didn't watch the romance with me, but he walked by and watched like a little bit and he did not like the cinematography. He was like, I don't like this, whatever. I loved it. I thought it was great.
I agree. I enjoyed it. Yeah. I really liked the way they did certain things. And
Agreed.
I had fun with it. Yeah.
Me too. And there was like one part where they panned over and there was this like older woman in a full hot pink ensemble head to toe. And I was like, why am I not monochroming more? I should be wearing full hot pink suit, jacket, shirt, shoes. This is sick.
I agree. No, I thought it was fun in like the cowboy guy. So it just had some
There's
fun
just like a lot of little quirky moments. And I really liked the film style.
All right, so Rye Lane, and is this our first romance with where the main couples are Black characters?
I think it might be. Like, just
wow,
like,
look at us.
I know. Finally, it only took 90 something freaking episodes. Oh, shame.
I feel like they're definitely not as advertised.
Well, that's the thing. And part of this movie comes up against a lot of those issues as well, where we don't get a lot of films push forward to massive amounts of people because it just doesn't get marketed the same. And people don't talk about them as much. And, it's kind of like this vicious cycle where if people don't talk about it, then people don't see it, then it just continues to perpetuate the cycle.
I feel like the only big one I can think of is it Crazy Rich Asians?
Crazy Rich Asians is, 2 Asian leads.
Yeah.
Then, and forgive me, I forget the location where it happens in, so I can't give specifics for like nationality, but there's also Moonlight is a big one. I haven't seen it yet because it's an A24 film. So I've just been like avoiding it. That one's another big one.
Yeah.
That like off the top of my head, I can
A24. You bastards.
No. This is not our first one with 2. We had the Lovebirds.
Yeah.
You're like, that doesn't count.
I mean, two Black leads.
Okay, no, you're right.
2 people of color. Yeah, we had because we discussed this last time. It was Lovebirds, and then I think that's the only one with 2 people of color, and then the other was it?
It was the 100-Foot Journey. She is white. You're right.
Yeah, and then there was a gay couple with Love Simon.
Yeah, we're pretty white and straight in our history.
How diverse we are, guys.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's new us. We're changing things up. All right.
Trying to cover more films that are more inclusive.
Yeah. So Rye Lane. It is a 2023 movie, rated R, which I'm surprised about. Yeah. I was like trying to think.
I think maybe the cursing.
The butts, maybe.
And maybe the butts, but I don't know. Are butts that big of a deal?
Oh, you know what? There was a ball sack. So.
Was there any dick? There might have been some dick. Was there dick?
There wasn't a penis, no, but there was this discussion.
There's a lot of penis talk.
Right?
But
There wasn't a penis. No.
I don't know.
I think just.
I'm kind of surprised.
Yeah. I'm surprised. It's only an hour and 22 minutes. That is so short. It didn't feel short.
No.
Oh.
It didn't. I think that there's something about the way it was filmed and the fact that so much happens in it.
Yeah.
That makes it feel like it's a longer movie.
Yeah. So it is technically a rom-com. It does have drama in it, but I'd consider it a rom-com.
You would more. Yeah. They're trying to, basically the director said she's trying to break the boundaries of the rom-com world and take over rom-com with something that is not traditionally portrayed, such as 2 dark-skinned Black leads.
Yeah.
Which is, you know, because let's be honest, even within race, there is a tendency in movies like this where they take lighter skinned or white power.
Yeah. Especially the women. The director is Rain Allen Miller. And let's get into the story. Okay. So this movie takes place in South London. I wish I knew more about London to pick up on things. I don't know dick about London. So
no, me neither. But it's like a love letter to South London, and the name of the film, calling it Rye Lane, is a nod to the area. And they talk about Rye Lane as being sort of the third main character in the movie.
Yeah, it did feel like a character. It was cool to see. Yeah, there were a lot of clips of just the environment and people that are living there, and it was like really cool. I enjoyed that.
Yeah.
So we meet our main character named Dom, and he's played by David Johnson, and he's crying in a bathroom stall. He is looking through his phone, and he had a rough breakup with his girlfriend, and he's upset because she's posting photos and videos with her new man, and so he's crying about that. And Yaz, our next protagonist, played by Vivian Opara, comes into the bathroom. She's using it, and Dom's like trying to cry in peace, and she's peeing, and she's like, "Hey, are you okay?" And he's like, "This is the men's bathroom," and she's like, "No, this is a gender neutral bathroom." So she does peek at his shoes, and before leaving, because Dom's like, "I just want to be by myself, please stop talking to me." So you can tell she has this type of attitude where she's just very talkative and a little quirky, and so she leaves the bathroom. They're both attending an art exhibition organized by their mutual friend named Nathan, and it's about mouths. And I did not like.
I hated it.
It's all just photos of like open mouths.
Dude,
and
the butts
teeth.
were better. The butts were
better. Yeah.
I hated the mouths.
I did not like the mouth
Get
exhibition.
those away from me. I'm not interested in those moist cavities.
No. So Dom eventually leaves the bathroom. They're walking around. Yas recognizes his shoes, so they strike up conversation. And then it ends up with Dom buying one of Nathan's photos for God knows how much.
God.
But they end up outside together, and they realize they're going to be walking in the same direction. So they just continue to talk together. And I really enjoyed the way this scene was done, where they're walking, and like you said, the way it's filmed is really fun, and it's very colorful, and it's taking in the sights while they're talking, and it's just like a casual conversation, and they just have this like fun back and forth, and I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, me too.
So Yaz manages to get Dom to open up about who he was crying about and his breakup. And so he goes deep into everything. And so we learned that he was with his girlfriend Gia for 6 years and found out that she cheated on him. And the way he found out was, so the way they did this is he's retelling the story, but they're at a theater, and he's like, they're both
like reliving it, basically.
Yeah, like reliving it.
Visually for us, which I liked the way they did that.
Yeah, it was really cool. It was like they were in the scene, the memory, watching Dom find out how she cheated. So he's getting her popcorn and all this stuff, and then he calls her, he FaceTimes her because she wasn't there yet. And she picks up, and she looks like she's in the middle of something. It doesn't look good. And she's like, "Oh, I won't be able to get there, sorry." And he's like, "Oh, that's okay." But he sees something in the corner, so he screenshots. And he screenshots it before she hangs up, and he says, quote, "Even though it was low res, I knew that dick." So he saw a penis, and it was his best friend's penis. Eric, which is really upsetting. So
horrible.
Poor Dom. And he tells Yaz that he was actually going to meet Gia and Eric at a restaurant for the first time since the breakup to like clear the air. And Yaz is just appalled by this. She's like, why are you agreeing to do this? Screw her. Fuck them. Like, don't even bother with that. But Dom's a very kind person, and he just wants to,
you
know, he's just a sweet boy. He's so sweet. So she's like, you know what? I'll go with you. I can go with you, so you don't have to be alone. And he's like, it's okay. It'll be a little weird if I bring a stranger, because technically they are strangers. They've only been talking for a little bit. So she's like, no, you're right. So they split off, go separate ways. Dom makes his way to the restaurant to meet with his ex and his best friend Eric. His best friend Eric's just like a total dumbass. Like he's just like I don't know how to explain him. Like he's just all looks, no brain.
Yeah, it's a himbo. Yeah. But he's not like
not a himbo. What's the other word?
No.
He's obviously not a dumbo. Just a bro. I don't know.
He is just a bro, and he just doesn't have two brain cells to rub together.
Yeah. And then Gia, like,
this
I don't understand. She's just acting like it's fine. Like nothing serious happened. And I'm like, you cheated on Dom with his best friend. Like it wasn't just a random person. Like
And she acts like it's like, well, duh. And no.
Yeah, and poor Dom is very, he's his face, he's very upset sitting there, and Gia's just like, so like we can talk about it, about like what happened, and he's just like, why'd you cheat on me? And she just says like she needs something different, like she needed a new routine. It was just like the same old thing, and it was not a good answer.
No.
And Dom's just like, okay. And then Yaz shows up impulsively and is like, oh, hey, hon, and acts like she's Dom's
I loved that. That's so great.
Yeah, new girlfriend, new lover. Yeah, I love it. And so Gia's surprised and was like, oh, okay. And I'm like, bitch, what? Like, oh, she was so annoying in the scene. I was so mad.
Yeah.
And so they're like, oh, how'd you guys meet? And Yaz is like, oh, it's like a really great story. We met during karaoke, and it's literally a High School Musical meet cute.
Yes.
Which is the best meet cute, okay?
Yeah,
it is
so
the best
good.
one. And if for anyone who doesn't know the meet cute, basically two people were called on stage that don't know each other and forced to sing a duet together.
Yep.
So that's the story they're spinning on Gia and Eric. And Eric's like, oh, very cool. Like, love that. And
Yeah.
just doesn't care.
Just vibing,
Gia looks upset. Like, she's just being really weird.
Because everyone has to love her, obviously.
Right. She doesn't like that Dom is, like, happy and, like, moving on, I guess. So, and she's also shocked. She's like, you did karaoke? And Dom's just like, yeah, I did karaoke. So after they both leave together, Yaz and Dom's super happy that Yaz showed up. He's like, it was great. Did you see her face? She was so upset. And that story, he's like a completely different guy now. He's like so cute.
So cute. I know. And if anyone didn't already know, Demi's got a little crushy crush on the lead actor. Ever since Romulus, she's been head over heels.
I know. He's so cute. So cute. So I'm biased, obviously.
Yeah, just a little, but he is a cutie pie.
Yeah. So he's like, I'll treat you to food, let's go have lunch together. So she chooses this random burrito place, and I'm sure it's a very popular one in South London. And Colin Firth is the burrito guy.
It was when I saw that, I was like, oh my God. Did you see his shirt?
I forgot what it said.
It said love guactually, and I was beside myself. It was so good. So in order to get him, the director just wrote a letter to Colin Firth and was like, listen, I'm trying to like turn rom-coms on their head. I have this idea, 2 black leads, whatever. And he was like, as long as I get a burrito out of it, like I'll do it. And so he ended up meeting up with her, and he doesn't know South London super well, so she was showing him around. He took out the 2 main leads to get a meal, and he basically gave them all these little tips and tricks about like, being in a rom-com, do this, don't do this. And it was like so sweet. And he's like not credited in the film at all. But
God.
But I think it's like, it's such an Easter egg where I saw it and my mouth dropped. I was like, my man.
Yeah, I was like, that's not it.
Yeah.
That's him. That's Colin. What is he doing here? I love him. I love him.
So good. So good.
The best. So I was like super excited to see it.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
And it was just like a short little scene. Like it
was so fast. And apparently he took his role very seriously and was like, which do I put first? Sour cream or beans? Like all that stuff. And I'm like, oh, method.
I'm sure he did. Because he's perfect. He's great.
Yeah.
After burritos, they end up going to a bar together. And while Dom is getting drinks for them, As gets a phone call. And the phone call is, you don't know too much about it. It kind of seems like it's like an interview or an appointment. But basically they have to reschedule her, and she just like hangs up real quick when Dom returns. So it's like, oh, what is that? What's going on here? She's got secrets. So then Dom is like, hey, like, because Yaz also recently went through a breakup, but it was only she was with him for like a year, and didn't really say much about it. So Dom's now like, you know, tell me the details. I told you everything about mine. You helped me out. Like, I want to know. So then she reveals that she broke up with her boyfriend Jules, and mostly just said that he was a red flag because he didn't wave at tourists on boats when they passed by. And it was like kind of like a weird thing, but I get it, you know? I get it.
She's super blasé about it. She's not giving him any details. And you're just kind of like, okay, so basically he's not a super kind person. Like he's not he's not kind of out there. She's looking for someone who has more heart, I think.
Yeah, right. And then she says that she had forgotten a copy of the Low End Theory, which is a record by the tribe called Quest. And I never heard of this group. I actually listened to them a little bit.
Yeah, they're good.
Recording it. It's pretty good. Yeah. So she's upset that that record is at Jules' flat. And Dom's like, oh, let's just get it back. Let's sneak in and grab your vinyl back. He's like hyped up. He is so pumped up. Adrenaline's rushing.
Yep.
And she's like, okay, yeah, let's do it. So they can't get into the house, and Yas thinks to go to Jules' mother's house, which she still has like a good relationship with. Yeah. The mom and the aunties.
I really love the whole cultural thing where people call like their like elder women aunties. I think that's so cute.
Yeah, so it's the aunties, and they're excited to see Yaz, and they of course invite her in. She's like, oh, it's my friend Dom, and they just kind of look at Dom like, And they're still like, oh, I don't know why, you know, you and Jules didn't work out. You know, you guys seem good together. And Yaz is just like, oh, you know, it's whatever. But their mission is to try and get a key. So Dom's out in the backyard, and he's with the uncles, I guess, Ed. They're just hanging out, and he's talking to one of them about music. Yeah. And he's like, oh, you know, I listen to hip hop, listen to this. And he's like, oh, yeah. He's like, you know, let's connect your phones. Let's listen. And I was like, no, it's fine. And they connect it. And the first song that immediately plays is If You're Not the One by Colin Benfield, which bop, okay?
Yeah, it's a great song. Not really the jazzy sort of rappy.
Yes.
Vibes that he's acting like he has.
Right.
Just sad boy music.
Which I love.
It's great.
Like, absolutely. But it definitely like paused the vibes. Like everyone's just like.
Could you imagine if someone took your super mix of all like your liked songs and just pressed play?
Cannot.
I would be like, no, I haven't listened to that song. No.
I don't even know what my mix would be.
No.
It's a shit show for sure. It'd probably be the first one that would play would either be like a musical, maybe Bad Bunny, or some sort of like emo rock. That would be.
Yeah, mine would definitely. I would immediately have sad boy music playing, just like some sort of indie, low-key, popish, like making you feel your feels song.
Right, which is cool. I love that. Yeah, love that for you.
I mean, I feel like they would expect it from me. It's like very like, I know I'm who I am.
Eventually they put other music back on, but Dom's chatting up with this guy and learns that they're trying to get into Jules' flat, so he gives him a hint about checking a certain drawer. So then Dom goes back inside, finds his drawer. It's like a panty drawer, but there's other things in there. And while he's upstairs, he overhears Yaz talking to the aunties, and they're asking about Dom. And she's like, oh, you know, he's just like a guy I'd met. I'm just hanging out because I feel bad for him. Which, girl, why would you say that?
Don't ever say that. Yes. It doesn't matter.
So
doesn't
Dom,
matter.
I know. Dom hears that, but he doesn't have much time to react because they all start coming upstairs and they see him in the drawer. They call him a pervert.
Yeah.
And he gets kicked out.
He's going through their unmentionable drawer.
Yes. So they're outside. Dom confronts Yaz about what she said, saying that he overheard her. And she, admits that, like, at first she did feel sorry for him, but, like, has really come to enjoy their time together and even, like, turned down a job interview in the afternoon. So that's what the phone call was. Dom is surprised and upset that she did that. And basically she said she's just been getting so many no's. And she has been trying, she wants to be a costume designer for, like, movies and shows. And she's just not having really much luck getting a job. And, Dom was like, you should have said yes. Like, you should have done that. Like, why would you not go for that just, like, for me? And then, so they kind of, like, make up, and Jules' mom or aunt or whoever ends up lending a moped to Yaz.
Yeah.
So they jump on the moped and they have one more place to try and get a key. So they go to Mona's karaoke bar to speak to Mona, who's a close friend of Jules. And Mona's like, yeah, I'll give you a key, but you have to sing karaoke first.
Yep.
So they go, and karaoke's rough. Like, people, I don't know if they're like this in South London, but, like, they are booing people on stage. I'm like, I've never experienced this.
Could you imagine?
No, it's only supposed to be fun.
No, I've only ever karaoke, like, in front of my friends, not in front of strangers.
Yeah.
You and I were supposed to karaoke in front of strangers once, and things failed for us. That night derailed. That was a night when basically we went out, me and you, and I wore your little, like, Marilyn Monroe skirt, the black and white one.
Yeah.
And this was back when you lived in the tiny studio.
Okay.
So then we were out and about, and Brett and some of his guy friends were out and about at the same time. And we ended up, I forget, like, why we went with them instead of going to do karaoke or whatever.
Yeah.
But we ended up meeting up with them, and then we just, like,
I don't remember.
I'm struggling to remember the finer details, but that is the night when we walked home and Brett got really mad at us and he was storming away.
I wish I, like, remember that conversation.
Oh my God,
because
I know.
It was so funny.
I only have, like, the bare bones skeleton of it, and he was so mad. And we were just being goofy, like, giggling, whatever, and he could not handle it.
He texted the group, was like, I need to get away from that. Oh my God.
So
that was
great.
good times.
Yep.
Anyway, yeah, I mean, anytime I've, like, done karaoke or been, like, groups with karaoke, even if you sound awful, like, people usually don't boo you. At least the places I've been at.
I got booed, I'd be like, all right, bye.
Yeah, the worst is, like, you go after someone that's, like, really good and, you feel embarrassed that you're up there.
Yeah, exactly.
So, but it's fine. But yeah, so at this karaoke bar, people are just, like, booing these poor people on stage trying to sing. So they go up, they have a song picked at random, and it ends up being Shoop. So Dom goes on the stage and starts singing it, and Yaz is like, I'm not doing that, which is surprising considering who she's been this whole time. And he's singing, he's trying, and the group's kind of like starting to boo him and stuff. So then Yaz joins in, and they both sound really good, and they get into it, and it was, like, really cute, and the crowd starts jumping and cheering them on. So it's like their little, like, fake meet cute they made up. It's, like, actually happening.
Like, they got to have it.
Yeah. So then afterwards they kiss and they go make out in the bathroom for only a little bit because then security is like, hey, you can't
be in there together. Ah, man, I was like, dude, why would you do that to me?
I know. I mean, it is a gross, like, dive bar
bathroom,
but
couldn't. There was one point at the very beginning when she bends down to look at his shoes. Her hair touches the floor of the bathroom, and I was like, you have to go cut your hair. You have to go cut your hair. I'm sorry.
Chop it off. Yeah.
You can't live like that anymore. I'm so sorry. So sorry. Say goodbye.
So they do the karaoke, so they get the key. They go to Jules' flat, and he has this beautiful apartment, and he's a sculptor. He's an artist. And Yaz is, like, running around, kind of ignoring the whole record thing. And Dom's, meanwhile, trying to look for it. And she finds a menstrual cup in the bathroom on the shelf.
I was like, why are you touching it?
No. And she freaks out. She's like, Jules never let me have anything out. He was disgusted by it. Meanwhile, she can have her menstrual cup out. And she puts it in like some leftovers in their fridge.
I was like, girl, what is happening? She was like going off the deep end.
Yes. But she's freaking out.
Yeah, she puts
upset.
on this like random girl's thong over her clothes. I was like, why? Why are you doing this? Please.
Going crazy. Yeah. And then the door jiggles, so they go hide. Jules comes in with his girlfriend, and they realize someone's in there.
Yep.
So then Dom and Yaz come out. Jules is like, what the hell are you doing here? Dom's like, oh, we just want the record, and when we're going to leave, that's it. But then Yaz is upset and arguing with Jules. And he basically is like, oh, I broke up with her. Like, did you know that? Yeah. And it wasn't her who broke up with me.
Which is not the story she told.
Not the story.
No.
So then they go outside. Dom's like, why did you lie? He's upset about it because he was very open to her. And meanwhile, Yaz has just been lying and hiding things this whole time. And she was basically just like, I felt like embarrassed, like all this stuff. And also just didn't feel like telling Dom everything. So they just have this argument, and she ends up throwing the record away after he walks away. So all that for nothing.
I know. I was like, girl, why?
At least keep the record. So time passes. I don't know how much time.
Yeah.
I guess a few months, maybe a month or so.
I would think. Yeah.
They're like going on different dates with other people. She ends up rebuying the record at a store.
He moves out of his parents' house, gets his own place.
She ends up getting a job. So she goes to the interview. She gets a job, which is really cool as a costume designer.
Yeah.
And then towards the end, at the end of the movie, they're attending Nathan's next art exhibit, which is about butts. It's just all butts. There's a video of an old man butt, and you see his ball sacks. And I guess that's the art.
I mean, wasn't a fan of it, but I will say, of all of the possible thing, it wasn't that horrible. Seeing butts, didn't hate it as much as I hated mouths.
No. And the one photo is funny. It's a woman's ass, and she's like in a split. And the one friend, she's like, Dom, look at that's my butt. You should look at it. It'll make you feel better. He's like, no, I'm not gonna do that. And she's like going around telling people, and I'll be like, I'd be doing the same thing. That was a nice butt.
It was. She had a great butt. I was like, damn girl.
Like, yeah, that's me.
Good
that's
for you.
my butt.
Yeah.
So Dom ends up getting a phone call from Yaz, and she realizes she still likes Dom and wants to make this grand gesture for him. So basically, he's always done these grand gestures for Gia and never gotten anything in return. So she calls him, and she's like, hey, I'm outside. Come look for me. And he goes to the window. He sees a boat passing and people waving, and so he waves at it, and she's like, I knew you'd be someone to wave at a boat, at a tourist boat. And so he notices that she's on the boat, and he runs out to meet her, and he waits for her to dock and get out, and they embrace and they kiss, and it was really cute. And that is the movie.
That is the movie. It's cute.
Rye Lane. Cute. It is cute. Cute. My memorable scene was the karaoke scene. I really liked that scene.
Okay.
It was so cute.
Yeah. That was a good one.
My deleted scene, I ended up choosing their argument after Jules. I just
didn't. It wasn't necessary, but
I feel like Yaz was being dramatic, but also I get it. It wasn't like out of place, but I was like, girl, come on.
I know. For me, I'm glad that they had time apart before they rejoined, because they clearly both had unresolved issues that they had to work through. So for me, I do like it when they're able to kind of work through, have those arcs, and not go in with baggage from a previous relationships to help feel like they're starting fresh.
Right.
But I didn't like the way the fight went down. It just felt like
I
wasn't a huge fan of that.
I agree.
Yeah.
Main characters, smash both.
Yeah. 100%.
Both smash.
Both great.
Side characters, pass. I'd assume it's all the exes and Eric. I'm not.
Yeah. No.
Bunch of bastards,
all of them, not great.
Fall in Love, I said 10. Okay. I think if I had good chemistry with
Yeah.
someone and we did all this like crazy stuff
Yeah.
together in one night, and they made a grand gesture for me or I
Yeah.
did for them, like I think it's all
Yeah.
all 10. It was
Yeah.
very cute.
I think I could say the same. Yeah.
Yeah. I would recommend it. I liked it. I think it was cool and it had a lot of fun things to it. It was very light and quick watch.
Yes.
And yeah, it was romance, but it was comedy as well.
Yes.
So
Yeah. Yeah, it wasn't crazy hardcore. I would say it really did push the boundaries of what rom-coms are.
yeah.
I do feel very much like this was different, something different. My only thing is that my favorite trope is not recent breakups. I don't love when those are like the big settings for the relationship.
Okay.
I much prefer in my romances when the whole entire movie is set around that couple.
That's fair. Yeah.
That's like, I still liked the movie a lot and I would still watch more from that director or with those actors or whatever. I almost would love, like, it's when I read a romance book and I'm like, oh, that was good. Like, I want to see what else the author can do. So that's kind of how I felt watching it, where I was like, I liked it. It's not going to be my very favorite because of the fact that it had so much focus on breakups and stuff. But I would love to see what else the director does.
Yeah. No, I understand that. I think they did a good job with dealing with breakup stuff, and it was like a few months that passed and before they like got together officially.
Yeah.
I think it was done well, but I totally understand that trope of recent breakups and
yeah. I like the purity of a fresh start. So I feel that way about most of my like very, very favorite romances are usually, I could be wrong. Maybe I'm just being stupid, but I think that's my usual.
Do you have any more facts for me?
I have a couple, not a lot. So, first, it was filmed really quickly. They did it in 22 days, which is...
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, on location anyway. So I thought that was like wild. In interviews, both of the main characters were praising the director because she gave them freedom to kind of play and riff off of the script. And basically what that means is that they were able to just like really delve deeply into the character and have fun with it. A lot of those things don't make it into the film. They said that they got like really crazy and just were having so much fun with it, which I think is just really great. And I think it's a good environment for people to be working in. Like, that's the best way for them to get into character. And they felt like the reason they were able to do that is because she had set the scene so well for them to know like who the characters were and what they were trying to achieve.
They had a very easy and natural banter. So I could see how that made the movie better for them to just, kind of go and do what they want and feel what's natural and stuff. So I like that.
Yeah. My last fun fact for you is that Vivian is actually also a musician and she goes under the title Vivian Forever.
Okay.
So if you ever want to give her a listen, she does that too. And
very cool.
Those are all of my fun facts for you. My rating for the film, I think I would go like 4.4.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm giving it a 4. I liked it. I had fun with it. I think it's cool. I think that was just solid.
Yeah, it was good. It was good. It's like, I wasn't going to go 4.5 because 4.5 is like rewatchable stuff for me.
Right.
And this one, I would definitely rewatch it at some point, but it's not something that I would immediately afterwards be like, put it on again.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
yeah.
But it was really good. I liked it a lot.
Yeah.
And I had fun with it.
No, I think this was a good one. I think it's a fun one to check out if you're a fan of.
Yes.
I'm just a fan of like fun movies. I don't know.
Yeah.
It was quirky. I liked it. Yeah.
Even if you don't like romance, I really feel like this would be a good movie for you. It's not. Yeah. I tried to recommend it to my brother and he was like, ew, no, love. Okay. Whatever.
Alrighty then.
Loser. But he is gonna watch It Follows, so
okay, all right.
We'll see how
there's
that
love
goes.
in that kind of love making. You want to call it that? Barely.
No, that is not making of love. That is the making of horror stories. But sure.
Just pure survival.
Yeah. Yep.
All right.
Yeah, go ahead. What's my next torture movie, Demi?
Your movie next is It, the remake. Not
and
the...
This is not the first time I'm learning that it's It, so that's why my reaction is so subdued. Because when Demi texted me that it was it was a pretty outraged and upset reaction on my behalf. And I really just don't understand the Stephen King of it all, okay?
I know, but I've been thinking about it because there's a TV show coming out related to it, and I was like, you know what? It's time. It's time to watch It. And so anyone who doesn't know It, if you live under a rock, it is a Stephen King based movie. There was a TV series with Tim Curry, but this is not it. Basically, the movie It is about these young kids, and they come together and are facing this horrifying like clown named Pennywise, and he's not just a clown, he's like a shapeshifter basically, and is preying on the children and feeding off their fears. And he comes every 27 years to the town of Derry to consume children mostly. And so these group of kids need to figure out a way to survive against a Pennywise, the clown. So
yep,
that's basically it. This might be a long episode, I will say. There's so much to talk about. It is a long movie and it's 2 parts. So, but I'm not having you watch
what
the second part.
What do you mean it's 2 parts? What?
The story's not over, but I'm not going to make you watch the second part.
Oh my God.
We can talk about it unless you want to.
No,
you want to see how it ends. It's fine.
I can't believe
I'll let you know everything.
Freaking 2.
Well, the book is very long. It's like
so this was only half of the book?
Yeah. It's like Dune.
Oh my God. I thought maybe he wrote a second book. Jeez.
No.
Oh my God.
You can find this movie on Max or HBO Max, whatever you want to call it. I think that's the only place you can find it.
I think so.
Have fun watching it. Yep. For those who are watching it for the first time, enjoy.
Thanks for listening to How Do You Watch This? You can find us on Instagram at How Do You Watch This and TikTok at How Do You Watch, or emails at howdoyouwatchthis@gmail.com. If you like the show, support us by giving us a review or recommend to a friend. Thanks, and we'll see you next time.
Goodbye.
Bye.